Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro Digital Gaming president resigns after numerous Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons controversies. Gee, who would have ever have guessed that the genius Cynthia Williams that brought us this would want to resign? It couldn't be that the massive loss in profit, the massive stock drops in their prices. I mean, these things are cataclysmic drops in their stock prices, all thanks to diversity and making sure that the doors open for everybody. You know, and these are the same people that brought you handicap accessible dungeons, right? These had dungeons that had ramps in them. These are the people that brought you wheelchair bound dungeon explorers. You know, it's adventurers. We got to make sure that we can get them up the mountain there. You know. And I don't know who wants to go into a fantasy world and imagine themselves as being trapped in any way. I mean, again, like I am not someone who is bound to a wheelchair, so I speak as someone who walks freely. But I would think that that would not be something I would want to live out in a fantasy that allows me to cast magic, where I can turn people into newts, you know? Where I can slice a dragon in half with a mystical sword that I pulled out of a rock. You know, I struggle with why someone would want that. And I don't know. It feels like Cynthia Williams was trying to fill a void that didn't need to be filled. There wasn't one there. It's kind of the case with a lot of these DEI freakos. In fact, back in 2022, she had a lot of weird things to say. Let's check in. Quote, since I got here, it has very much been about inviting more people to the party and making sure that they found a space where they could express who they are. Our games teach that diversity is a strength. D&D in particular will teach you that together you can overcome tasks, challenges, or an adventure that you wouldn't have been able to on your own. Now, I just want to pause that right there. Just think that through, right? Okay, fellas, we can't go on this adventure until we've got an orc, an elf, a halfling, and a hobbit. You understand? We don't want to be called racists when we go fight the dragon. We don't want Smaug calling us ignorant, you know, or MAGA voters. Imagine in the middle of a D&D session, someone starts barking about that. I expect it happens these days, especially with the door that Cynthia swung open here. But let's go on with her crazy comments. And she says, when you're playing Magic, you're seeing the diversity of the world in the characters. You see yourself. I love the stories of people playing Dungeons and Dragons and being able to express who they are in that game, which leads them to being able to express who they are in real life. We're very much cultivating that level of diversity as we're inviting players in. Yeah. I don't know about you, man, but like I roll out of bed and I just want to be an elf, you know? And it just sucks that I can't be an elf in real life, that I can't leap from tree to tree Naruto style to get back and forth to the grocery store and work and wherever the heck else I need to be in the world. I don't know about you, but I just feel like the only way I can express myself is being a 12-foot tall battle-axed orc, slicing down imps at everywhere I go, right? Just lobbing the heads off of these skeleton warriors. That's the only way I feel truly expressed. Oh no, that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about like human characters and elf characters going around in rainbow thongs and having wild orgies with NPCs and not at all doing anything traditional to Dungeons and Dragons and merely role-playing their sick and twisted fetishes out in front of other people that, you know, may or may not be enjoying this. That's not the D&D I know, and that's not the D&D you know. But that's the D&D that Cynthia Williams tried to create. But rest assured, her leaving is not going to change this. I promise you, Hasbro has a penchant for pitching to the socio-political end. You'll remember Project Veritas busted them wide open for training their employees on CRT. This was back before James O'Keefe left, and he interviewed a former employee of Hasbro about how hard they were pushing critical race theory. Now, I don't have to tell you, if you're a Power Rangers fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The last 5 years of that franchise before it got nosedived into the ground, like it was so bad, Hasbro, a toy company, didn't even put out a 30th anniversary toy line for the 30th anniversary series that ended the entire franchise, or at least was supposed to end the entire franchise. We'll see. But again, like diversity through the roof, the only priority was doing this. And at the very end, they created a Jesus-like character in order to deify and challenge the place of Christ in the order of the universe. And it's like, it's this absolutely stupid concepts that Hasbro does just to satisfy the socio-political dynamic. And this is why I say Cynthia Williams leaving changes absolutely nothing. Mark my words, they'll find another doofus that'll crank it into overdrive to make up the distance that Cynthia had to slow down on when the stock started falling through the floor. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video, and because I'm an anime citer today, I can't point at the camera. But I'll tell you what, I wish you good luck out there, and for goodness sake, don't sit down at a D&D table with somebody who wants to roleplay with a thong on.